Hello YouTube. I know you have been waiting for such a long time to watch this review. The smartphone currently ruling in the mid-budget market. Yes, it is none other than Redmi Note 8 Pro from Xiaomi. So guys, today I am going to do a in-depth review of Xiaomi Redmi Note 8 Pro and you are watching Everything Smartphone. But before starting the topic, if you are new here, then please subscribe to this channel and press the bell icon to receive notifications about our future updates. So without further ado, let's get started. The whole review process I divided into 5 different parts: the build quality, display, performance, battery and camera. If you want to watch the unboxing of this phone, then click here to watch that video. So let's start with build quality. This is a plastic body with a glass back, and the good news is there has Gorilla Glass 5 on the front and back. And it has a dewdrop notch on the top of the display which holds a 16 megapixel camera and a notification light. And the display is 6.53 inches in corner to corner. I will get back to the topic later. The phone weighs around 200 gram and a bit bulky, which is not comfortable for me. It has power button and volume keys on the right side and a hybrid dual SIM slot on the left side which holds dual nano SIM card or a SIM card with a micro SD card. Using a micro SD card, you can expand phone memory up to 256 GB. On the top, it has noise cancelling microphone, and on the bottom it has 3.5mm headphone jack, USB Type-C, microphone and speaker holes. It is good to have a 3.5mm headphone jack in the smartphone since most of the flagship stopped putting headphone jack in their smartphones now. Okay, on the back it has 4 camera, a fingerprint sensor and a dual LED flash. I really don't like how they put the 3 camera and a fingerprint sensor in the middle with a little camera bump. Personally, I was not comfortable with fingerprint unlocking, but I am happy with overall build quality. The phone is available in white, black, blue, red color variant. So that is all about build quality, and now let's talk about the display. Xiaomi Redmi Note 8 Pro has 6.53 inches IPS LCD touchscreen display panel with 85% screen to body ratio. This is really a large display. And the resolution is 1080 into 2340 pixels with 19.5:9 aspect ratio. In the mid-budget range, Full HD display is perfect and the display density is 395 ppi and screen can produce 500 nits brightness. So this is clear enough that display has no problem in the viewing angle or direct sunlight. Also the display color looks good, but I feel kinda oversaturated though, and display supports HDR content, so watching any media content feels very eye-pleasing. I have also no complaint about the display, but in this budget range it was not impossible to put an AMOLED display panel. Though the IPS LCD panel was very good, in display production it has Corning Gorilla Glass 5. Display seems very wide and bezels and scenes are a bit thick, so it feels uncomfortable to operate with a single hand. That is not a big issue since most of the phone has same aspect ratio and the same kind of wideish look. So let's deal with it and let's say yes to the display. If you're gonna ask me, is this the best display in the market? I will say no. But in this budget range, this is one of the best display. Okay, now heading to the performance section. This is the most important part of a smartphone. It has MediaTek Helio G90T octa-core processor. This is obvious that MediaTek processor has some kind of heating issue. This G90T processor, where G stands for gaming and T stands for turbo, which means this processor will produce turbo speed and provide better gaming experience. This is unbelievable that somehow Xiaomi managed to optimize everything smoothly with this processor. With Mali G76 MC4 GPU, it was very good gaming experience. I played high-end games like Asphalt 9 and PUBG Mobile, but there was no problem at all. Even PUBG was running high graphics mode. But after 1 hour of gaming, phone temperature was more than 40 degrees Celsius. By the way, phone cooling system also works fine and it becomes cool again in between 5 to 10 minutes of rest. And the phone has 6GB RAM with 64GB or 128GB UFS 2.1 storage option. I think it should has to be some variation in RAM, like the Realme 5 Pro has 4, 6 and 8GB RAM variation. Obviously phone runs on Android 9 Pie and MIUI 10. As usual, MIUI 10 was smooth, but we have the Chinese ROM version, so there was lots of bothering apps. But in normal uses or heavy uses, I haven't seen any kind of lags. Everything was just perfect. For security, it doesn't have any kind of face unlocking features, but it has fingerprint sensor on the back, which is not in appropriate position, I assume, and it was hard to unlock in one time. But the unlocking system was blazing fast, so in performance, it is the perfect example of a mid-budget smartphone. Now talk about the battery. This is one of the strongest side of this phone. It has 4500 mAh non-removable lithium polymer battery. Yes, this is a giant battery for this phone. As a result, battery runs longer than any normal phone. It will definitely give you whole day battery backup. In our test period, it runs about 12 hours in full charge. If you are not a heavy user, then it will give you minimum 2 days battery backup. But if you are one of those hardcore phone users like me, it will give you at least 8 hours of SOT. Let's talk about the charger and charging time. Xiaomi put a 18W fast charger with the box, which can charge the phone 0 to 100% in less than 2 hours. Charging time was a bit slow, you have to bear that. Except that, everything was fine. And now the camera. Let's start with the rear camera. The Xiaomi Redmi Note 8 Pro has 4 cameras on the back. You're probably thinking this is the main camera. But no, this is a 2 megapixel f2.4 depth sensor lens. Under that, this is the main 64 megapixel lens with f1.9 aperture, then 8 megapixel f2.2 ultra wide lens. And another camera is here. This is a 2 megapixel f2.4 dedicated macro camera. I must admit that this is a pretty cool setup. And the camera UI is pretty simple and easy. It can take a stunning 64 megapixel photo from the camera, also capable of shooting 2x lossless zoom, wide angle, ultra wide angle photo. And as like any other camera, it can shoot panorama, time-lapse, short video, etc. But the difference is, it has a dedicated macro lens, which can take extremely close-up photo. It can shoot portrait photo too, and the portrait looks awesome. Blurriness and edge detection was very accurate. Let's check out some samples from the back camera here. And now talk about the video. This camera can shoot 4K video on up to 30 frames per second and 1080p video on 60 frames per second. Though it has electronic stabilization system, but I don't know what the heck it is doing. Without gimbal, video was too much shaky, and you can clearly check that in this video sample. And the camera can shoot up to 960 fps slow motion video, which is not originally 960 fps video, magically happened by software. Anyway, it still can shoot 240 fps video with 720p resolution, which is pretty good in quality, and 120 fps video with 1080p resolution. If you want something usable, then I will suggest to shoot in 120 fps. It is very dramatic and looks awesome. Let's check out some samples here. And now let's talk about the front camera. On the front, it has 20 megapixel f2.0 camera, which can take average quality image. I'm not a big fan of this front camera. You can clearly see the photo looks over sharpening and punchier color, which looks unnatural to me, but not that bad. Also, you can take portrait photo with the front camera, and the portrait quality is really good as like the rear camera. So now let's check out some samples with the front camera. And the front camera also can shoot 1080p video with 30 fps, again over sharpening and punchier color on the video too. But in overall performance, I am happy, and in this mid-budget range phone, it is pretty much normal that something will not happen and something will go beyond expectation. Yeah, this is okay and totally fine with me. So that was everything about Xiaomi Redmi Note 8 Pro. If you want to get this phone, then check out the link in the description. I hope I was able to break down everything about this phone. If this video was helpful for you or you enjoyed, then please smash the like button and comment down your thought below. Also make sure you are subscribed to our channel and notification bell icon is still active. Until the next video, I am your host Amit, signing out.